We have some great audience questions to answer this week. Some of these are really funny and they relate to things that I've been dealing with lately. First question is from Kaylee. Kaylee said, on planes, in movie theaters, buses, there's these situations where there's one armrest between two seats. How do you determine who gets to use the armrest? Very, very good question. If I'm sitting next to someone I know, usually there's just like a discussion like, oh, you use the front of the armrest, I'll use the back, or vice versa. Or maybe we put up the armrest all together on a plane. Like if I'm sitting next to my girlfriend and we just figure, let's just have more space, we'll lift the armrest all together. But many times when I fly alone or on a bus, I recently took a bus because I was going to get my car and I was on a bus. How do you determine who gets the armrest? Many times this comes to possession is 9/10 of the law / first come, first served / you snooze, you lose. Call it whatever you want, Lewis. But it's whoever gets to that thing first. You basically just have it until you relinquish it.
That's your rule.
I feel like that's what it comes down to.
Well, there are those times where you're sitting next to someone who, because of their size, just envelops the armrest.
A passenger of size. Yeah, I've dealt with that a few times.
Well, I guess there's nothing you can do about that.
No.
I thought the rule was just I get the armrest.
If you're larger?
No, just no matter what. Like it's just mine.
Oh, you personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I have had people say, oh, I'd like to use the armrest as well. And it's polite. I don't like it. I'd rather keep the armrest myself, especially if I was there first. But I will acquiesce to that.
They have one armrest, right? They already have one.
Well, the point is, who shares the one that's in the middle?
Yeah, that is the question. And I certainly don't like to share it. I like it to be mine.
But is there any sort of rule as to who? Is it whoever gets to it first? Is it?
I've never heard of a rule in that way. I mean, ideally, you would think that it would be split time, right?
Split time. Oh, okay.
Share.
So you don't share the armrest front and back. Someone gets it half the time. Someone else gets it half the time.
No, that's how it should work.
Yeah.
But it never really works out.
It's
that
an
way.
interesting
and you don't
idea.
want to strike up a conversation with a stranger on sharing the armrest.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea, though.
They'll shoot you.
I don't really have an answer. What I might suggest to you is just talk about it right away, because what I don't like, Lewis, is when you're sitting next to the person on the plane, for example, and you have I'll have my arm on it, and then they edge their arm on, but basically their arm is on my arm.
Yeah.
So now I have no choice but to sort of make a little space on it. Now we're basically splitting the armrest, and they slowly just start pushing me to the point which, to be comfortable, I now just retract and recoil completely from the armrest. And I've given up my position on the armrest completely. I think I would be better off when the first point of first contact, where they put their elbow on my elbow, I say, oh, did you want to share the armrest? Say it immediately, and then I could prevent getting pushed out.
I actually find that I don't actually hog the armrest.
Oh, you don't?
What I do is I just, if I'm sitting next to someone who's really small,
Yep.
and they just don't really take up much space, sometimes you can both be on the armrest anyway.
Oh.
But if it's clear that it's contested,
Right.
I usually find that I just keep my arm off it because I don't want to interact with this person in any way.
Interesting. And this is just generally your antisocial sort of predisposition, right?
It is.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
it. And I'm on a bus, I'm on a plane, I already have my headphones in,
Yeah.
an angry look on my face to purposely dissuade people from talking to me.
Yeah.
And the armrest is just another one of those things.
Yep.
I have to avoid using it. I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk to me. Yeah.
Now, what about on a plane when the kid behind you is doing the thing where they just release the food tray and let it drop and slam, shaking your seat, or kicking the back of your seat? Will you do a turn, just a sort of sarcastic turn with an eye roll? Will you say something?
It's not a sarcastic turn. It's a death stare turn.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I'll usually just look at the parent.
Yeah, I'll give both the kid and the parent the death stare. No problem.
Yep. All right. Well, very good. In a contested armrest scenario, we now know what Lewis would do.